Welcome to the Reprioritizing Self YouTube channel where we discuss tips, strategies, and the real ish that comes with reprioritizing ourselves in this society. I am Kiara, a healer and trauma healing coach.
And I am Larisha, counselor, wellness facilitator, and founder of wellness brand With Love LC. And we are your co hosts. So stick around to the end of this episode. You'll be hearing our crystal share, affirmation, and journal reflection question to support you on your healing journey. Make sure you hit subscribe, hit the notification button, and smash the like button, y'all. We're so happy that you are here. So, if you've been with us, then you know that we are healing with the elements this season. And if it's your first time here, welcome. We have officially entered the air segment of this season's Healing with the Four Elements series. So, we have covered fire and earth, and now we're on to air. So, air serves as a reminder of the importance of our breath, freedom, travel, clarity, communication, intellect, lightness, and connection in our daily lives. Air is especially near and dear to us on the Reprioritizing Self series, as we are air signs, Gemini and Libra. We shout out to the Aquarius too.
Yes, we love you, Aquarius.
So, this episode, we are diving into exploring air and exploring transitions and shifts and flows throughout our lives.
So let's, get into our check-in question. We always want to know how we're doing, what's going on with us. So, Larisha, what areas in your life do you want or need to breathe new life into?
Yes, come on, new life.
Come on.
For me, right? For me, what I have been continuously practicing to breathe new life into is my communication with myself and how I speak to myself. And so, for example, if I'm attempting to do something, like instead of saying I'm trying to or I'm about to, I'll be like I am. And so using powerful affirming myself, and when negative thoughts or like old frames of thinking come up, I acknowledge them because I know it's not going to go away. It's a practice, but I'm very much more active into breathing that new energy, that new air. Like this is not gonna slide.
Right.
I am doing this. So that is what I've been breathing new life into, for sure. And speaking of new life, with Love LC, we are co-hosting a retreat coming up in September. It's called the EmbraceYou Retreat. I am so excited to be doing this offering. So it is going to be a destination retreat in Angel Camp, California. And we're going to put the information in the show notes as far as how to learn more. But it's going to be a very loving space for Black women, hosted and facilitated by Black women. And we're going to have all types of offering, massage services, wellness workshops, access to a beautiful facility. And we would love for you to join us. So please tune in. We're going to be posting information on our Instagram with Love LC, as well as posting the information in the show notes of how you can learn more. So I'm excited. It's the season.
Excited. Yes.
Yes.
Oh, so
it's
good.
The season of all the newness. So Kiara, let us know what areas of your life do you need to breathe new life into, or are breathing new life into?
I love what you were saying about communicating with yourself. I think mine's kind of along the same lines in terms of I am trying to be more mindful and aware of what I'm saying yes to and how I'm saying yes. Like, am I really interested, or is it like something where I'm like, I don't want to inconvenience someone, or I don't want to stir any issues or things like that. Like, what do I really, really want to say yes to? And doing more of that versus saying yes because I know I can. Like, I have the capacity, I could do it, but I'm tired of doing that because once I actually am doing it, it's like, I wish I didn't say yes to this, you know? So I'm trying to breathe life into my boundaries and into how I am spending my time and energy, and making sure that that's aligned with my purpose work and the energy that I actually have and I can give, and my capacity to give to others. So that's mine. And I am with you on continuing to breathe new life together. I love it because we both have a retreat going on in September. It's a bi-coastal experience, y'all.
Yes.
So depending on where you at, if you're on the West Coast and you want to go out to California, or if you want to come over to Atlanta, I will be also hosting a retreat different weeks. I will also be hosting a retreat in September as well. It's called the Resting Hours. It's just a day-long space for us to rest, to nourish, replenish, to tend and care for ourselves and each other in space. It is focused on Black femmes and Black women. We are going to, like I said, be resting. Like, we are going to be laying down. We are going to be spending time with sound healing. We are going to have space and time to do personal reflections via journals or however you want. And then we probably are going to be twerking at some point because that's rest. Like, you know, it's the joy. It's the joy in the rest. Okay. So please tap in, stay tuned for the information. I'll be posting it on my Instagram, but also I'll have a site, and y'all will be able to find it down in this notes. I have it. So we will find it in the comments below.
Yes.
So tune into that, tap into whatever retreat is calling you. Know that we are both so excited to receive you wherever you choose. And this is just an opportunity for us to continue to take care of ourselves and heal together. Y'all will hear us always say we are healing in community together, and this is how we get to join and do that. So I'm so excited for you and your retreat. I wish I could be there at the retreat as well. I know, like, we want to do a retreat exchange.
Yeah.
But y'all, like, planning events is not a small thing. So we will be not at each other's retreat, but stay tuned because we will probably have a collective experience very much in the near future. So, just stay tuned, stay tapped in. But I want to, because we're talking about breathing new life, I want to just invite us into a little breath practice. And you can do this however you would like, but I'm just going to invite us into taking 3 deep breaths together at your own pace, whatever that looks like. I'm not going to count us. I'm not going to do none of that. Just taking 3 breaths in this moment. We can have that intention in our thoughts of where we want to breathe that new life into, and we're breathing there, right? So let's take a moment, just bringing our attention to our breath, and then at your own pace, taking those 3 breaths. If you want some sound with your breath, if you want a longer exhale. Juicy, juicy. Yes. It just does something, right? Like, just taking that moment, and then even just seeing, like, okay, boundaries. Yes, what do I want to say yes to? And, like, sending that energy and that breath there. So such a simple little thing that we can do to just reset and realign with what we want. So
y'all, here in the breaths, she gets you right every time. We acting up, y'all.
Yeah, we
That's what happens when you get to the air element. Okay?
Exactly. Oh my gosh. Yes.
Let's get into it. I'm so happy. Thank you for that practice. So we're going to get to our first question. So as I mentioned earlier, we're going to be talking about transitions. So Kiara, let us know, how do you typically approach and manage transitions or shifts in your life? And how has your approach evolved over time?
Mm-hmm. Um, the first word that comes up is begrudgingly. I just don't want to. I'm just like, what change is happening? I think that, like, I mean, generally, I do feel as a Libra, and if y'all look at my chart, I am used to the changes. I'm used to things shifting. I'm used to um, the ground moving underneath of me. And so I do feel like that is kind of built in. I am expecting change, right? More than I am not. And so I don't find it to be something that I resist, but I think I get frustrated a little bit sometimes of like, why do we have to do this again? Or why is there more things shifting? But as I'm able to like settle into that a little bit more, I think I'm able to see the the joy, but also the opportunity in shifts and changes. And I think that when things are shifting for us, that means it's time for us to shift and change, right? I don't think that, um, I mean, sometimes it feels like we're not ready, certainly, but it's happening regardless. It doesn't matter. I think back to, when COVID really took hold of us and our entire lives changed at that time. I don't think many of us were prepared for the ways that it was going to drastically change how we did life. But we figured it out. We figured it out, and we're now having to figure out how do we reintegrate into a world where we do still have this experience of COVID, but also have this call back into the ways of being that we were doing before. So I think that each time a major change happens, I learn more about myself and how I change and what ways I resist and what ways I am like super open to it, or maybe where I'm too open and just like letting whatever happen. It's just becoming aware of that and mindful of what that looks like for myself. And, wanting to make sure that I am staying as grounded as possible through that change. And that grounding I find within myself, not outside of myself, because that's usually the stuff that is changing. So the things I can control is me and what I know about myself and how I can take care of myself. The tools that I use, these breathing practices that keep me kind of anchored into myself while the outside and things are shifting. And when even things are shifting inside as well, same thing. So how about you, Larisha?
Oh, I agree with a lot of what you said. That resistance is real. I feel like I thrive in routine and regularity, so much so that when change happens, I'll be like, like, no, no, no. Uh, so lately, I have been leaning into the resistance, at least like, okay, this is happening. I'm noticing this shift in how I feel about this part of my routine, or I have to go further or move differently. So having more of a dialogue with myself when change is happening versus resisting it with all my might. So that hardly ever helps.
Right, exactly.
So and the change is still gonna be changing. So definitely leaning into that openness of leaning into the resistance. So acknowledging that that's there, acknowledging that there's some discomfort, and then leaning into that. Okay, it's here. What I gotta do?
Right, exactly. That part. Yeah, like just the acceptance, right? I think that's what I'm hearing. It's like the resistance, acknowledging the resistance and trying to move ourselves towards acceptance in the ways that feel right for us. So another question I want to invite you into is, When you're faced with uncertainty or unexpected shifts, what strategies do you find most effective for maintaining your resilience and clarity in your decision making?
I love this question, and I feel like you touched on this a piece when you were responding to the first question around going within. And so a lot of change is happening around, for me, for example, when I think of uncertainty or unexpected shifts, I think of everything around me just changing, or maybe not specifically my circumstances, but maybe a loved one circumstance that impacts me, like changing. And so a lot of the times what I do need to do is check in with myself and identify, like, how through the midst of this thing, or these things that are so uncontrollable, like there's nothing that I can do. If I could do the things, if I had the magic wand, like I'll be like, if that's not there, how can I sustain myself in a way that I am sustained? So that might look different depending on what the unexpected change or shift is. When I think back to some really big unexpected changes or shifts where I was grieving heavily, my biggest concern in that time was like basic needs. Am I eating? Am I drinking? Am I sleeping? And if I'm not, like, how can I lean into making that a thing? Because everything else, I don't even know. I'm just here.
Right. We need the basics.
I'm just a body at this point. So this is what I need as a body to sustain. And so when I think about strategies, I definitely think about what the circumstances are calling for and how can I get rooted within so that I can navigate and be of support in the best way I can to myself and those around me. And I think that's going to look different for everyone. And again, like we like to invite ourselves lovingly into thinking about what those strategies look like. We invite you all lovingly to think about what those strategies look like, because shifts can be big, small, all types of things. So yeah, really leading into myself has been very helpful.
Mm-hmm. I love
Anything,
that. Yeah. I mean, I think that's it. Like, I think it is going to be an individual practice for sure. And also remembering, what are those practices that keep us sustained through whatever it is. I think for me, nature feels consistent, and it's like, it's there. It's always there. So being connected to nature, I think, also reminds. And then there's like the natural shifts and changes that happen in nature as well, right? The seasons. We think about the seasons, like every year we can expect that there's going to be a shift at least a few times, depending on what time zone and what area you live in. There's going to be some shifts between the seasons and the energy of that season. And so I find solace in that things are always shifting around us. That change is a human experience and this lifetime experience. And what ways can I tap into nature to learn about that? Because there's so much wisdom there within. So, having my teas that support like whatever it is, grief or anxiety or fear, having my breathing practices and other tools that support me to just be grounded and tapped in with myself. So encourage y'all to reflect and think about what that could look like for you. And we might have a little reflection question for you at the end about that.
Yes, and I love that. And the other thing that y'all know we gonna say is community care.
Hello.
Okay.
Hello.
So if you like, I'm doing the things and I just need to be in space.
Yeah.
I need to be held right now while these changes are happening. Tapping in with community. If it's a class, a workshop, or phoning a friend or a family member, that is also a huge, huge piece of navigating transitions.
Mm-hmm. Ashe to that.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, let's get into the crystal.
Yeah, we jumping right into the crystals, y'all. So our crystal for this episode is green aventurine. So this is Green Adventure. So Green Adventure is associated with many meanings, including luck, good fortune, prosperity, wealth, abundance, self-confidence, positivity, optimism. Adventure is known to be a great stone for settling nerves. Green Adventurine is associated with the heart chakra. Whoop. And it promotes vitality and harmony. I love Green Aventurine. It's one of my favorite stones. Very calming, very like just that prosperity and abundance energy. It's one of my favorite stones to wear when I am at vending opportunities, and it's just beautiful. I love it.
It's
So
so
get y'all some Green Adventurine.
Yes, and it has the word adventure in it. I just love that.
Yes,
I'm like, come on, adventure. We're going on the adventure with you. Yes, I love it. Yeah, get y'all some. Get y'all some. I have mine somewhere, but I couldn't find it, y'all. So I gotta go pull it out and figure out where it is, because I need my prosperity and abundance and everything. Okay, well, let's talk about our affirmation for today's episode. It's our affirmation, and we read it 3 times. So you can say it with me. You can listen and just like embody this as I'm speaking it. You can write it up somewhere. Keep it with you. Our affirmation is, I embrace change as a natural part of life's journey, knowing it brings opportunities for growth and learning. I embrace change as a natural part of life's journey, knowing it brings opportunities for growth and learning. I embrace change as a natural part of life's journey, knowing it brings opportunities for growth and learning. We're going to keep learning through all of this change.
Yes. And speaking of learning, we're going to be reflective too.
Come on, reflect.
Reflection question for this episode is, what strategies help you maintain balance during times of change? So y'all reflect on those strategies. We know change is constant. It is part of the human experience. So what strategies help you maintain balance during those times?
Yes, and it could also be what people, it could also be what communities or what practices. You know, like we always talk about twerking. That is our practice.
Yes.
That helps us to keep our balance and keep our connection. So find those things for yourself, list them out, have them somewhere handy in case you need those, instead of having to be in that moment of grief or of anxiety or whatever it is. You have it right there. You don't have to be thinking about that or brainstorming that at that time. So support your future self and your future needs with these strategies. And yeah, that was a good one.
Yes, y'all. So welcome to air. Okay. We in and out.
We have more in store.
We have so much more in store. So y'all stay tuned. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share this healing. We love y'all so much, and we'll see you next time.
See y'all. Take care.